is A to Z with Mark Zinno, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, where today I tell you, don't hit the panic button now. Welcome in. We are live here on this Monday. Great to be with you guys. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Back in the saddle here on A to Z. Give me a follow on Twitter at Mark Zinno. Of course, follow the entire Locked On Sports Atlanta at Locked On ATL, the entire network here. All the great shows that you can listen to each and every day. Aaron Freeman of Locked On Falcons is going to join us here in the final segment of the show this afternoon. And look, we've got a lot to do. And I want to start with the Braves because there seems to be a sense of dread after the last two games against the St. Louis Cardinals. In reality here, the Braves are exactly kind of where they need to be from a standing standpoint. But the last two losses leave a sour taste in folks' mouths. Why? Because Kenley Jansen, who's the closer of the Braves, blew back-to-back, blew a save and then blew a tie game lead last night. The Braves did in the eighth. And so, now you have a situation where they've lost back-to-back games that they probably could have and maybe should have won, and they did not. By the way, Kenley Jansen blew his first save in 2 months on Saturday. So let's not start to act like all of a sudden Kenley is going to be a problem. He's not a problem. He had a blown save. It's going to happen. It happened to Mariano Rivera, for crying out loud. It happens to every closer. You're never going to go through a whole season perfect. There has to be mistakes along the way. So regardless of what you may think of Kenley Jansen, and those folks on the Twitters, you guys are nuts if you ask me. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but the idea that all of a sudden the back end of this bullpen is a problem, I think is silly. It was a tie game last night. By the way, you got two uncommon starts from Jake Odorizzi and Adam Wainwright, both guys who usually get banged around, and both of them survived through 6 innings of scoreless baseball. It was that kind of game, and or 5 innings scoreless baseball, whatever you want to say. It was that kind of game last night on Sunday Night Baseball. The rain, I'm sure, had a lot to do with it, but still, again, this is not a time right now because they lost 2 in a row to a team that they probably should beat on a routine basis, that you hit a panic button about anything with this team right now. They are in very good position. They're 3 games behind the Mets, who, by the way, lost the game to the Rockies, for crying out loud. Max Scherzer pitched a gem, only gave up 1 run. The Mets didn't score any. Guys, that's just baseball. Like, I hate to be so cliche about it, but that's what it is. And you do it 162 times, it's really hard to figure out how every single one of those iterations is going to go. But more often than not, there is a percentage that allows you to play to your strengths. So I don't get too wrapped up in what I saw over the weekend. Again, the Braves welcome the Rockies tomorrow. The Mets start a series with the Dodgers tomorrow. So, this is a spot here where the Braves can make up a game or two. If they can sweep the Rockies, which they should, and that, for me, may be a little bit more reason to get upset. But if they can sweep the Rockies, which they should, and maybe the Dodgers take 2 out of 3, bam, you're a game out of first. I'm not sure what people are looking at. Dodgers have a game tonight against Miami, finishing up their wraparound weekend series. But nonetheless, this is a spot for the Braves that is very good. And this is the best spot they have to really either tie for first place if the Dodgers can sweep the Mets, or they can at least put themselves within 1 game, which makes it very easy for them to overtake the Mets before they get to the series at Truist Park the very last weekend of September. And the calendar's about to turn here. We got about 30 days left in baseball, folks. I mean, it's time for the big boys to show up and start playing. So I don't have any concerns about the bullpen. I don't have any concerns about a lot of things with this team. There is one major concern I have, and I'll tell you that in a second here. But first, a word to our friends at BetOnline.net, the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds and games. Guys, football is back. We had a great week 0 in college football. If you follow me on Twitter, you know where I was on all the sides and totals. Find reviews and news of every league, Major League Baseball. You get college, you get NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. And what the hell happened at East Lake yesterday was pretty freaking amazing for Rory McIlroy. Anyway, BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information. Live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they've got you covered on all of it. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, you want to talk about concerns. This is a concern that I have for the Braves. And the headline reads very simply. Ronald Acuna says he has pretty intense knee pain the last couple of days. And that was the headline in the AJC in a column by Justin Toscano. Yeah, that's bothersome. That is troublesome. This team needs Acuna. And you may turn around and say, well, Zinno hasn't really been playing all that well this year. By his standards, you're right. He hasn't been playing that well. Well, Zinno, they won a World Series without him last year. Right, they did. Are you going to sit here and try to argue with me that the team is better without him? Because they're not. Period. Because in his back pocket, he's always got a great catch. He's always got a big hit. He's always got an emotional energy play that gets the team going. You just need him. And you need him healthy, which is why they sat him out on Saturday. They sat him out on Sunday. They have an off day today, so he's getting 3 days rest. And the fact that this knee pain is still bothering him is really one of those things that bothers me more in the big picture than it does in the short picture. For a guy you signed to a 10-year deal, the idea of pushing him through this knee pain that could lead to something this offseason, possibly another surgery, derails the long-term future of this player, or could do it. And you're in a real catch-22 because you're trying to win another World Series. And the attitude and the logic shouldn't be, well, we won one last year, so let's just, we'll sit him down. No. You win as many damn World Series as you can, as often as you can, every single year. Forget about last year. Last year means nothing. Play this one like you haven't won a World Series in 26 years. That's the way you should approach this thing. And you need Acuna to do it. But what is the price you're going to pay for doing that? Is it going to cost you something down the road with Acuna and possibly put him under the knife again this offseason? There's no way to know. There's literally no way to know. And that's the challenging part of all this. I mean, to me, for all the effort you put into pitchers and everything else and all the effort you put into making sure that those guys are protected, it's one of the biggest stars in the game and the best player on your roster. Protect him. Forget about guys like Spencer Strider. Who, oh, by the way, can we do this right now? We can do this. Buster only tweeted this out over the weekend. This is complete insanity, these numbers. Spencer Strider in 2022 faced 430 batters. This includes as a reliever and a starter. He's got 158 strikeouts. That's 37%. Guys, do you know how insane it is to strike out 37% of your batters? That's ludicrous. Like, it's not even real. He gave up just 72 hits, 38 walks, allowed only 6 home runs and 430 batters, a 2.87 ERA and an adjusted ERA plus of 146, which is, again, insane. How are you not starting this guy in the playoffs? How? Like game 2 of a series. How is he not your game 2 start? It's nuts to me. Absolutely nuts. Those numbers are eye-popping, insane, off-the-charts numbers that absolutely should wow you, period. All right, speaking of wows, we have East Lake to get to, just a reaction there. As well, we have to hand out shovels and wisdom now because Aaron Freeman is going to join us in the final segment of the show. And some notes about the Falcons as we head into Cutdown Day. That's coming up next right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, search Locked On Sports Atlanta.